Welcome to Mark Asks number 4. I'm here today to talk love, sex, and feminine energy. I've got EJ Love with me. Thank you so much for coming in. You're a love and sex coach from here in Queensland, in the Gold Coast, and you just have been doing some amazing work with women all around the world. So you've been running workshops not just nationally, overseas as well. You went absolutely viral last year with this video, with the self-love video that over 14 million views, crazy. And you do a lot of work with women to heal their past wounds, not just mentally, but you kind of bring in this holistic, energetic, spiritual approach to it as well. And you run these workshops, and we actually met, I think, for the first time not one of your workshops, but at one of these healing workshops. And it was such a beautiful experience for me. So I think, first and foremost, thank you for coming. You've got your book as well.
I do,
And your book should be out by the time this video is there, so check it out in the description. Got your book as well, Becoming the One, that's been released now. Again, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. So today, we're talking feminine energy and expressing your feminine freely. So I actually did a video on this. And we sort of talked about ways to empower your feminine energy. And the video got a reasonably good response. It was one, obviously, as a guy, I said, I really hope women receive this well. And by way, it got a pretty good response. You're the expert at this, though. So I want to take this deeper. And there's a lot of women who say, come to me, and they spend a lot of their time in their masculine. Mm-hmm. In their work, maybe in their lives, or they have to be in charge in a lot of spaces. So I guess first and foremost, we start at the beginning. How does that affect their ability to express their feminine, and how do you help women in that sort of situation bring that out more?
So I think what happens is that this energy where women are kind of in this doing, controlling, kind of focused masculine is what I call an immature masculine energy. And it's almost like...
An immature masculine.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So it's like her inner man is not grown up yet. He's still kind of figuring out what he's doing. And a lot of the reason why women go into this immature masculine is because they simply don't feel safe. And this is a lot to do with simply like not feeling safe to be a woman, and a lot of conditioning around that, being like physically smaller than men as well. And so basically what women do is they go into the masculine energy because they feel like that's safer. And because
in the workplace it's safer, or it's more productive, or why do they?
Or because ultimately if we go back to like hunters and gatherers days, right? If we think about this, is that the man was the hunter, and he would keep a woman safe by going out and hunting, protecting her, making sure that she doesn't get eaten by a lion, right? So this is still wired in our DNA, okay? Now what women also tend to do is they will adapt to what is most valuable. And because the masculine energy, which tends to be the more immature masculine energy that is kind of running the world, is that they tend to go into this because it's perceived to be more valuable, whereas the feminine energy in our world today is not perceived by most of society as being as valuable as masculine energy. And to be doing what's more valuable means, within our DNA, that's what we do to survive, right? So a woman will tend to do what she needs to do, like unconsciously, to be of the most value to survive. Does that make sense?
Got it. So you're saying that a woman would feel that to survive, she feels she has to bring out this immature masculine.
Yes, and
is that wrong? Is she wrong by, I have clients with a job who whether they're bankers or CEOs or medicos, are they wrong bringing that masculine into that workplace to survive, that immature masculine?
Yeah, so I think that there's definitely elements of like mature masculine energy in there. Like there's like a time and place, and I think you speak to this as well. It's like, yes, be in your masculine energy at certain times. And if it is like you're working on a project, like I'm in a masculine energy working on a project, but there's like a balance of when am I going into being overly working or overly controlling. That's when I'm going into this immature masculine. Right? And then coming back to be like, okay, where's the balance with that? When do I need to be in this masculine energy, and when do I need to be in my feminine energy? Yeah.
This is fascinating because I've never heard the masculine broken down into this kind of mature and immature side. And you said it's the immature that usually runs the world, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Is that right?
Well, it's about greed, it's about power, it's about control. All of these things is like immature masculine energy.
So what's the difference between mature masculine and immature masculine?
So a mature masculine is like leadership, and it's authenticity, and it's wisdom. But not doing it from a place of let me show you how good I am.
Not a boasting.
Yeah, let me show you how valuable I am. It's like
By definition, that is trying to prove and trying to seek validation.
Exactly. So I see what happens with a lot of women, and this has been very much in myself and what I've had to work through, is that using my intelligence and my success to prove that I'm worthy and lovable, right? And then when that's coming with a man, and like trying to attract a man that is like similar, it's like it's not allowing for that.
Well, I say this a lot to clients who ask me, are men intimidated by my success? I said, well, no, but are you showing up on the date proving how successful you are? In which case, I don't care if you're a man, woman, or friend, if someone sits down across the table and starts telling me how great they are, I have this many achievements or money or subscribe. Like, why are you telling me this? Like, it doesn't come off mature, does it?
Well, no, that's right, and that again is the immature. It's like needing to prove myself, needing to prove to again feel safe.
So how does a woman who's watching this empower her feminine by? Is it moving to a more mature masculine state? Is that kind of what you're suggesting or what you coach? Okay, yes. So how does she do that? How does she move herself to a more mature masculine to? Ironically, it sounds weird, but the more mature your masculine is, the better your feminine will be. That's kind of what you're saying, isn't it? Yeah. So how does she do that?
Yeah, so how this works is basically I see a lot of like this feminine empowerment stuff going on. And I like my book is like healing your relationship with the masculine to reclaim your feminine power. That's the subtitle.
That's the book.
Yeah. And what this is because we have basically been told, as like a lot of women are doing work on themselves, you need to be more feminine, you're not feminine enough. And they go and they do these goddess workshops and they do this feminine stuff. Yeah. But their inner man is still like a teenage boy, still being immature. And it's the inner man that needs to make it safe for the woman to actually be feminine.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So when you have, like, for example, when you have healthy boundaries, when you're present for yourself, when you're holding space for yourself, like a lot of women are like, I just wish a man would hold space for me and my emotions. My question is, are you holding space for yourself? Are you showing up and being like, okay, I'm feeling these emotions come up. I actually need to go and take time for myself and process this instead of going into avoidance or anything like that. So that's part of, or maybe I need to set a standard or a boundary. That's the healthy masculinity. That's the mature masculine. And then the more that keeps creating safety inside of self. So then when you're with a man and you feel like you can be more feminine, right? Because you feel safe inside of yourself to do that.
To release that. Yeah. I had a client come to me, and this could be a little bit of a case study sort of thing for you. And she said, Mark, I've been working on my feminine with my coaches. She said, I'm a doctor, so I have a medical background. She said, I've been working on my feminine and it's been great. I feel very comfortable being the light at work. I feel like I'm no longer competing with the masculine men at work. I feel like I provide a great balance to the workplace. My success is in question. I'm playful. The guys love having me around. She said, I'm getting great results at work. And then the moment I step out and meet guys at a bar or on a date, that playfulness, that feminine, it shuts down. And I said to her, well, what do you think the difference is? And we explored it. And she said, one of the big differences is around the men at work, I feel safe. Like I feel there's this masculine presence in the room. I feel protected. So I'm free. I'm playful. I get the job done brilliantly, but I don't have to enter a masculine state to do it. Whereas I don't have the same trust and safety feelings when I'm out meeting a man. I don't feel that confidence. So how can someone like this go into maturing their masculine? What are the next steps? I know you sort of alluded to some then, but what are the next steps someone like this can take? Because, I hear what you're saying, because people will go, well, this is a problem bringing out your feminine. Well, actually, it could be a problem having your masculine, making it safe for you to bring out your feminine. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so how can she then go and basically bring out be able to bring out that feminine more by how can she feel safe in those other environments? Whether it is dating or a bar with her masculine.
Yeah, so one of the things that I teach and what I do is actually getting a woman to create, like, see their inner man, like create like an archetype. And we go into like some
Right.
processes to be like, no matter what happens, no matter if I get rejected, no matter if I'm afraid of abandonment, that my man has got me, right? He's there. He's always there to fall back on. And it's over time. It's he's going to keep growing up. And like I have a lot of clients come in and we go into a process and they meet their inner man, and he's usually like 14 years old. Like, they meet him, and then they wonder why they keep attracting men that are like teenage boys. It's because that's reflecting, right? So yeah, it's the reflection. Yeah, it's like, why can't I meet like a mature man? It's because your inner man isn't there yet. And then over time, like doing this, like constantly doing these practices of, like, say she goes out to a bar and she feels like when she goes and approaches, ends up feeling rejected. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, I'm going to take that rejection, I'm going to process it, and I'm going to feel it. And feeling it is going to heal it. So that the next time she goes out, it doesn't, but it's the inner man that goes, I need to go and take some time to feel this, okay? And I need to go and like hold space for my feminine, yeah?
Okay.
And so that then gets reflected out too with the men that show up. Like the men will start showing up that'll be like, oh, let me hold space for you.
Okay, and there's this kind of inner real man inside her that's like, you're allowed to feel this, you're okay.
Yeah.
And then she can feel it, process it, and then go back to being free with her feminine in those environments again the next time.
Yeah, it'll just, over time, it'll get easier as well. And that just those things won't be so much in the space anymore. Yeah. And
yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I also lead into a lot of inner child work as well, and actually being, like, a lot of it's so connected to father.
Yep.
So it's really important to get basically the woman to be her own father for her inner child. So the inner child that feels rejected and the father wasn't there for her at the time. It's like now your inner masculine has to show up and be the mature masculine, because most fathers have been immature masculine, and it's not their fault. It's just that's the way that they were brought up. Yeah.
As well. Yeah, right. Fascinating. I love this. Okay, so essentially a woman can empower and free up her feminine, and it's not always a case of working on all the feminine stuff at the same time. It's also, you've got to know who your inner masculine is, or what, visualize him, or...
Yeah, you can visualize him, you can give him a name, you can go like into a little like visualization and see what, and call him in and be like, what is it? Like, I'm calling in my inner man, and see what vision comes, and like really connect with him, yeah.
And I think I know the answer to this, but if a woman says, if I have my own inner man, doesn't that kind of kill my want for a man on the outside? Like, why not just be happy single forever if I have this great inner man, and I'll stop even wanting one on the outside? What would you say to someone who says that?
Well, the thing is that it will come from a different place. Like the men that show up will come in reflection to what you already have, not from a place I don't have, of lack, of scarcity. It's like, I want a man because I'm not getting my needs met, and that man's going to meet my needs. And this is a lot about what my book's about. It's like I have this really integration of my masculine and feminine, and now I will naturally attract that energy and draw that in.
So the woman's not going to be like, a great guy comes along and says, I've already got my inner man, I'm just fine, thank you, you can walk on your way. They're still going to draw that person to their lives that reflects that.
Totally, yeah. And I just wanted to add something here around what we said about your client before. Was that when she's kind of got tapped into her inner man, once she goes into this situation, that's when she's like, okay, I'm afraid of rejection. I'm feeling afraid of rejection, but you know what? I'm going to call in my inner man, and it's my inner man that's going to go and go out there and he's got me. It's like you're calling him in, and I get a lot of my clients to do this. It's like he's going to go and he's going to approach. His maturity is going to get out there.
We recently did, in a separate interview, channel interview, we actually took you out. Was that a technique, or was that a visualization you used yourself to make yourself more comfortable with the little social exercise that we did?
Well, I think that I've done this quite a bit in different areas of my life, so it's like not really something I have to do now.
Yeah.
It's like kind of just it's an
always
integration.
there.
It's he's there now. Like
Yeah.
he's
Solid
matured
that.
quite well. That it's really integrated because I keep, now just naturally showing up in these ways.
Yep.
So
Okay.
yeah.
And for women who are very sort of in their feminine all the time, so say opposed to the someone with the more masculine job, someone who is perhaps very feminine and maybe very empathic and struggles with her boundaries and things, how important is this work?
Oh, so important because it's about having the integration and balance of both.
Yeah.
And so there's also what I call the wounded feminine and the healthy feminine.
Okay.
So, and generally if you're only working on one, you'll tend to go to either immature or the wounded. So you have to work on both the masculine and the feminine.
Right.
Yeah.
So this masculine work, interesting to me, the mature masculine, is just as important for, say, a attorney who's been in immature masculine as it is for someone who hasn't done any of that, as it is for maybe a classically a dancer or a yoga instructor who doesn't have those boundaries and is really struggling with putting good boundaries in place with men, basically. This mature masculine work is equally important for both of those women. even though
Totally.
they
Absolutely.
present very differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
For both. Yeah.
That is fascinating. That's fascinating stuff. I love the content. You've got your book, Becoming the One, so check out EJ's book in the description as well. Anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, what I tend to see also is that most women who are in immature masculine will be polarized and attracted to a man that's in wounded feminine.
In an immature masculine
Yeah,
or
a
mature?
woman that's in an immature
Immature
masculine
masculine.
will be polarized to a wounded feminine. That's what creates like this chemistry. And then the women are wondering, well, why do I keep attracting men that are like victims, or I have to rescue them, or why do I have to pull them up, and why don't they make decisions and all this kind of stuff?
Right.
It's because there's the big polarity which is creating chemistry, and I think we're going to do another video
I
on
think
that.
chat
Yeah.
about that soon. That's
Yeah.
kind of the inner boy you're saying coming through and almost what they're attracting.
Yeah.
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 Fantastic content. I love it, EJ. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing your time with me. We're going to get EJ back for another interview really soon. Let me know your thoughts, comments, questions. Do you have questions for EJ? What would you like to know? Post them all in the space below. Hit the big red subscribe button, as you always do, with the little bell next to it. Make sure you hit that bell or you'll miss the notifications. Thumbs up button as well. As I say, leave your comments for EJ and myself below. Love to hear your questions. Thank you again for coming in.
A pleasure. It was
Yeah,
fun.
we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Mark.
Bye, guys.
Our love will set us free.